evening, everybody. I'm Tom Tamarello, and I'd like to welcome you to Lenape High School's People's Choice Awards, sponsored by Lenape's Renaissance Club. We appreciate you joining us this evening. It's a very special night to honor some of our amazing students. Before we begin our ceremony tonight, we would like to introduce our distinguished guests for this evening. We have Lenape High School Principal, Mr. Tony Catani, and Assistant Principal, Mr. Joe DeJulius. Tonight, we are honoring each nominated student with a medal to commemorate their selection by a Lenape staff member. Students, make sure you wear this medal to your graduation ceremony. We invite everybody here tonight to join us in the North Cafeteria for light refreshments immediately following the ceremony. Staff members were asked to choose somebody who impressed them with their character traits, somebody they have a special connection with, or somebody that just brightens their day. We're so grateful to have all of our recognized students with us this evening, all of whom make Lenape High School so proud and all of us blessed to be here. I'm now going to begin the presentation of the People's Choice Award winners this evening with my selection. I met my People's Choice nominee during her freshman year. It was that crazy year of hybrid teaching right around COVID. Despite the challenges that year, this student was a standout, finished one of the top students in my geometry classes. I could tell back then that this student was special and she took her education seriously and brought a tremendous work ethic to our class. This, however, is not why she's my nominee. Her senior year, this year was a normal school year, I saw her name on my roster and was thrilled to have the chance to teach her again under regular circumstances. Like freshman year, she's been an amazing student again, but I had the chance to witness a few other things that I didn't get to see during COVID. My nominee is one of the most genuine, caring, selfless people that I've had the chance to teach. Every day, she helps students in our class with understanding statistical concepts and problems. She comes to class every day and has a great smile on her face, greets me. It really makes my day. I have two other anecdotes I'd like to briefly share with you on why I selected this person. A few weeks into the school year, a new student joined our class from a totally different school. My nominee went out of her way to make sure he felt welcome, not just in our class, but at Lenape. I can still hear a conversation she had with him, explaining Lunch and Learn, how it worked, and how other things worked at Lenape too, to make sure he really felt comfortable on his first few days at Lenape. Fast forward to winter break. While most students were on their phones at the end of class the day before winter break, she made it a point to walk over to my desk, and she said, "Mr. T, what are you doing for winter break?" We chatted about painting kitchen cabinets, which I was doing, and about trips to Europe we had this summer. She's constantly making it a point to connect with others and have a positive, friendly, helpful demeanor that is unmatched. At the start of the year, students fill out a form, kind of a get-to-know-you form, with all kinds of questions. And one of the questions is somebody they look up to, and most students usually pick a famous person, a celebrity, an athlete, or what have you. She actually picked Jesus. And I bring this up, not to preach, but because this person embodies everything about who I think Jesus would be. Loving, helpful, caring, compassionate, all the characteristics of what Jesus on earth might be like. And so my People's Choice Award goes to Anna Becker. I'd now like to introduce our next presenter, Mr. Jason Perret.
Good evening. I'm actually going to call up my People's Choice Award candidate right now to be up here and share the stage with me while I read some things about them. So my People's Choice candidate is Julia Moon. So when I think of Julia Moon, I think of the phrase, "Don't judge a book by its cover." And at the end of this, you'll understand why. Julia's charisma, maturity, intelligence, and drive were evident from our very first meeting as her school counselor. Over the last 4 years, Julia challenged herself academically, enrolling in AP honors and accelerated courses of study and doing very well in those courses. She has attention to detail, self-reflects, and dedicates herself to mastering the skills needed for success at Lenape High School. In addition to being an excellent student, Julie is a member of several extracurricular activities: field hockey, girls basketball, girls lacrosse, girls swimming, track and field, you name it. She's played a role in all of these sports. While this is extremely impressive, the most impressive thing and the greatest sense of what I think Julia has for her accomplishments was helping establish the Coping with Cancer Club. I think when you look at Julia, a lot of people will often say, man, she has it all. She's so lucky. Must be nice. But what they don't realize is that Julia's family suffered a terrible loss last spring. This was an extremely difficult time for the Moon family. Julia had her moments of sorrow, but chose to use these powerful emotions to pour good into the lives of others. The club created an environment where kids who have been affected by cancer have a group of people that understand what the journey is like and offer support. On numerous occasions during our group meetings, Julia made herself vulnerable, opened up, and talked about her experiences, therefore allowing others in the group to have that same level of comfort and share. In addition to this, the club also serves as an outreach program and an awareness program. I don't have the total tally, but I know that through Julia and other club members, we've raised thousands and thousands of dollars since the inception of this club to help clothe, feed, and just offer support to numerous families in the Mount Laurel community, both here at the high school and the middle and elementary levels. So, Julia teaches us to not judge a book by its cover. This girl has a massive amount of depth to her, a massive amount of empathy. And she also teaches us that we can decide what to do with our pain. She chose to pour it into others. She chose to turn her tragedy into triumph. And for that, she is a model to me. I never met your father. Sorry. But as a father, I can tell you, he is proud. Congratulations. Next up, Melissa King.
As the teacher of the Life program at Lenape, I have had this student in my class for the past 4 years. One of the advantages of teaching this class is that I get to witness life-changing growth that occurs over a years-long period of time. He started at Lenape during COVID, making a difficult transition even harder, yet he continues to overcome in so many ways. This student faces difficulties in life that many of us never even think about. He uses an iPad to speak, but it's hard to put into words the joy it brought the first time he was able to verbally communicate with us, saying one more after a morning meeting fist bump. Aiden Pinkus is a wonderful young man who has grown in countless ways since he started Lenape. Aiden is friendly with students and staff alike. He fist bumps everyone he sees with a smile on his face. He never misses a wave, hello, or goodbye, always holds the door for a crowd, and welcomes the opportunity to arm wrestle Mr. Steve. Aiden is super pleasant and almost always happy. He completes assignments and jobs with a great and willing attitude. He is an extravagant gift giver and generous with laughter and hugs. His sense of humor is evident when he frequently teases me and our other staff. Aiden is hardworking and task-oriented. He independently completes numerous jobs around the school on a daily basis. The cafeteria staff appreciate his efforts, and the planters out front are looking fantastic with his help. Aiden is our resident foodie, whether it's fixing his own breakfast in the classroom, ordering a huge lunch and dessert on a field trip, or expressing a ridiculously long list of what he would like for an after-school treat on his talker. My guy loves to eat and savors every bite. I'll never forget the look of dismay on his face when on a beach field trip, a seagull snatched a cookie right out of his hand. Aiden is an energetic bundle of Lenape school spirit. He runs winter and spring track, plays on the unified basketball team, participates in the cornhole tournament, attends all his class's events, and his over-the-top outfits for Spirit Days can't be beat. I'm so excited to go on the senior trip with him in just a few days. And I'm so very proud of Aiden and lucky that I get to be his teacher. Now I'd like to introduce Michelle Kane.
Hello, everyone. I get to not only be myself, but I'm going to represent Mr. Lewis, who sadly could not be here. I'm sure he's really disappointed. So I'm going to do his student first, because I also have this student in class, so I'm lucky I get to do a double here. So Mr. Lewis said it is his greatest pleasure to have nominated Pravine Baharin as his People's Choice nominee. He had the pleasure of having Pravine as a member of the Red Watch robotics team the past 3 years. There has been a core group of software members on the team, and it is virtually impossible to pick just one of you. I assume more of you are here. We have had many fun times, they have had many fun times, tough times, late nights, technical issues, and definitely never any software problems. But in all those moments, I watched this student grow from a quiet software member to our strategy guru. First, robotics is a robotics competition, but it is so much more than that. It is building relationships, learning skills, and solving problems together. Pravine has really embodied these values here at Lenape, and Mr. Lewis knows he will continue to use them in his future. His passion for robotics, along with Akshay and Vaman, has not only driven the team to new heights, but even influenced their PLTW capstone project to be all about robotics. He is one of the kindest and most respectful and humble students he has ever had the honor to teach, and I echo that sentiment. He is an inspiration to his classmates, his teammates, his friends, his teachers, and his mentors. So Pravine, my dear, come on up and get your medal from Mr. Lewis. All right. I'm going to keep mine a little bit of a secret because there's a couple of students up here who think they might be my person, but I only picked one. All right. In the fall of 2021, an interesting incident took place in my classroom. One student was talking to my nominee, who was wearing his JRTC uniform. The first student remarked that he might have joined JRTC if it wasn't for the dumb uniform. My nominee very politely explained to the other student the sense of pride and importance wearing the uniform brought to him. He never put down the other student. He simply eloquently explained its importance to him. He had no idea I was overhearing this entire exchange and how much it would affect how I feel about this young man. This incident completely embodies who Keon Knox is. He is kind and thoughtful. He is loyal and hardworking. He cares about his family and speaks with pride when mentioning particular family members. He holds doors and checks in on friends and teachers who look like they're having a bad day. He is one of the kids who make Lenape a better place. He has said hello to me in the hallways nearly every day since our US 1 class together, and I cannot help but think the halls will feel a little emptier next year without those hellos and his genuine smile. Keon, you are a fine young man. I am so happy to have had the opportunity to know you these past 3 years, and I wish you nothing but the greatest of successes in your future.
When I moved to the Lenape district for my family, my children received the gift of an amazing teacher, Ann Hill. She taught them about community, kindness, and a deep love of learning. The values she instilled within her classroom are the values that she brings to every person she meets, including her family. The Hill family has valiantly taught our community about the power of love as they supported and as they battled cancer together. Unbeknownst to me, I was soon to be gifted with a member of the Hill family who wore a different last name. During freshman year, this lively, upbeat young lady sat across from me and she introduced herself as Nick Volpe's younger sister, Sierra. I totally remember that. She was incredibly sweet. She shared that time that she might want to go into nursing or history and field hockey and lacrosse. It was that meeting that started to build a relationship that I will forever treasure. Sierra didn't share that day that her family was united in helping battle cancer. I had no idea that her aunt had been such an important part of my own children's lives. As we built our relationship, Sierra began to share. She shared good days and she shared bad days. She shared hopes and she shared fears. What she did that struck me as remarkable was that she began to reach out to other students who were struggling through the cruelties of cancer. It was through the bonds that she started to create that a club was formed. Together with Julia Moon and Mr. Perec, we started Coping with Cancer at Lenape High School.
Sierra's kindness and care now allow the Lenape population to come together in not only the fight against cancer, but also to support those in the community that have battled it. Sierra is an exceptional young woman with a huge heart. Her family has gifted the world with wonderful humans that make a difference in our community. I am so lucky to have her in my life and to witness her continuing to battle for her family. She has honored her family and her cousin Danny. In time of strife, I will think back to the lessons that Sierra has taught me. For even in her worst hours, she found a way to make the world a better place. She is so deserving of this award, for Lenape will forever be a better place because of Sierra Volpe. Next up, Mr. Meter and Miss Perry.
Good evening. Ms. Perry and I have two students we'd like to recognize this evening. We had the pleasure of having this young man in our U.S. History 2 class last year. It would be difficult to find a student at Lenape High School who is more enthusiastic about history than this student. Not only was he a pleasure to have in class, but he was so eager to share his knowledge with his classmates. His contributions in class not only assisted us as teachers, but helped the rest of the class understand various topics. Despite moving on to World Cultures this year, he would often stop by our rooms to say hello and ask, "So what are we learning today?" Orion, we will certainly miss your visits and our chats next year. Who will you discuss our must-see historical shows and movie recommendations with? However, we know that your future is bright, and we wish you nothing but the best as you move on to bigger and better things. Our first People's Choice Award goes to Orion Hoselton.
As teachers, we often try to instill in our students the importance of character. There's a mural that hangs right by College Hall that says, "Some people are smarter than you, some people have cooler clothes than you, some people are better at sports than you. It doesn't matter. You have your thing too. Be the person who can get along. Be the person who is generous. Be the person who is happy for other people. Be the person who does the right thing. Be the nice person." No student embodies the true meaning of this quote and the ideals of character more than our other People's Choice recipient, Justin Galbreth. We had the pleasure of having Justin twice, once during his sophomore year and then again last year in our U.S. History 2 class. Justin possesses all of the qualities teachers hope to see in their students. He's conscientious, hardworking, eager to learn, and funny, with that dry sense of humor of his. But even more importantly, he's kind, empathetic, a good friend, and goes above and beyond to help others. Last year, every single day at the beginning of our U.S. History class, Justin would get everyone's folder and put it on their desk before they entered. A tradition I know he's continued to do in World Cultures this year. Over the course of each school year, Justin also takes the time to handwrite several letters to his teachers in which he expresses his gratitude and appreciation, thanking them for their help, their hard work, wishing them relaxing breaks or summers, and a promise to visit the following year. That's character. Justin, we wish you the best of luck as you embark on this next journey. We know that you will be successful in whatever you pursue because good things come to good people, and you truly deserve the best of everything. Up next, Mr. Joseph Porco.
He has a profile on IMDb. He invited the bus driver to his family's Thanksgiving dinner upon finding out that she was going to spend the holiday alone. He gifted Christmas ornaments to his teachers that related to something he learned in their classes. He made t-shirts to advertise for AP Economics at the activities fair and almost single-handedly, through the art of impeccable persuasion, got 130 students to express interest in signing up. He may not be the most interesting man in the world, but he certainly would make a strong case for himself within the Lenape community. Henry Gagliardi possesses many of the best qualities that comprise the ideal student. From what I observed as his AP economics teacher, few, if any, students outwork Henry. Persistence defines his efforts, as Henry does everything in his power to excel. For instance, his phenomenal scores on both the AP micro and macro tests were largely a product of him studying for dozens of hours the weekend before the test. Henry's passion for excelling academically extends beyond scores and grades. Henry prioritizes learning in order to develop a more defined worldview. Whether it be his commitment to clubs and programs in the building or defending his perspective on domestic energy policy, Henry wants to leave class with more than just a grade. Overall, whether it be his conduct or academic performance, Henry is genuine. Henry isn't motivated to act in order to garner attention or accolades. Rather, he is motivated to do the right thing because he knows what he ought to do. This mentality makes him the ideal People's Choice selection. He's a good one. Our next presenter has the second greatest beard at Lenape, Mr. Carnevale.
Good evening. My People's Choice Award goes to Mr. Matthew Holmes. Come on up. So I could always count on Matthew to put a smile on my face every day in driver's ed class. He was always ready to learn and was an active participant in class. He even came to the board on occasion to help me explain some concepts to the class. When I first met Matthew, he was the host for Star Wars trivia in the school store. He definitely stumped me on a couple of questions. I could tell the force was strong in him. Each day in driver's ed class, I would give him part of a Star Wars quote, and he would always finish it. Then I learned that he could also quote other great 80s movies such as Back to the Future and Spaceballs. As you can imagine, we often got sidetracked during class. It's not every day that you have a student that appreciates the greatness of these 80s movies like I do. If you ever visit the school store, you will see a new comic book character known as Captain Coffee Man. Well, Matthew is the writer and artist of this comic and has come up with a lot of creative villains in each episode. I would say Matthew definitely has a possible career as a movie trivia host and in the comic book world. Matthew, it was a pleasure having you in class this year. Seeing you jump for joy when you passed your driver permit test made my day. I can't wait to see what questions you will have for Star Wars trivia this May. Congratulations, and may the Force be with you. Next up is Ms. Shannon Conti.
Hello. I would like to invite Maddie Cacic to the podium. It's not too often that you meet with someone with whom you can connect with right away, but Maddie Cacic was that student for me. If I could think of one word to describe Maddie, it would be loyal. From the moment I met Maddie, her sophomore year, she has always been willing to show up and help out. I witnessed this firsthand when Maddie joined my SAD club and was asked to come with our officers to teach a drug and alcohol prevention lesson to the 8th grade students. Maddie was not even an official officer for our club at this point and was one of the newest members, and she took on the lesson with energy, enthusiasm, and a positive attitude. However, what I will admire most in Maddie is her loyalty and willingness to go along with my crazy ideas, including a leadership trip we organized to Camp Occonequin last year. During this leadership program, Maddie had to take on many activities outside her comfort zone, including climbing the ropes course, group trust activities, and even a canoe ride across Lake Stockwell, which didn't go according to plan. But Maddie took on all these experiences and gave it her all with a positive attitude. Maddie is a student who has grown from being shy and quiet to someone who is poised, articulate, confident, and an upstander for our school community. Maddie once shared with me that being a part of our club has been a highlight of her years here at Lenape, but tonight I would like her to know what a highlight it has been to have her in my club. Thank you for all your support these past 4 years. Congratulations, Maddie. And now I would like to invite Sean McEnany.
Good evening. I'm presenting two, so you're stuck with me for a few minutes here. My first is for Miss Allison Murphy. For her speech right now, she'd like to say funny, smart, witty, well-rounded, kind, and talented are just some of the words she would use to describe her People's Choice Award recipient. When I first met with him, he was a freshman in the fall of 2020. He started Lenape in the midst of a pandemic, wearing a mask and having limited social interaction with friends and classmates. Never did he complain or see anything in a negative light. Over these last 4 years, he has truly continued to be a bright light in my classroom. His optimism is contagious. He is always the first one to cheer up a friend who is feeling down, compliment someone, or offer to help in the classroom. Not only does this student shine in the classroom, but he also has so much to be proud of outside of our program. He has played the trumpet for many years and has been involved in after-school activities and clubs. This year, I was so proud of him when he tried something new and he joined our unified basketball team. He had an awesome season and even pulled out some impressive moves on the court. I will truly miss having this student at Lenape next year. His kindness, thoughtfulness, and compassion for others are truly unmatched, as well as his Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney trivia knowledge. If you've ever heard him and Matthew go back and forth, you would know how good this is. I am so incredibly proud of him and cannot wait to hear about all the incredible things that he does in the future. Congratulations to the People's Choice Award winner for Miss Allison Murphy, Devin Gupta. Congratulations, bud. Thanks. No, put that up. Yeah, there you go. All right. Yeah, go get a pic. I'll be out in a minute. Take a picture with you, okay? All right, and now in my last act as her coach, I'm going to boss her around. Come on up. It's the last time I get to give you directions. It's fine. So as a coach, I find that I often get caught thanking or crediting players based on stats or numbers in a season. Who scored the most points? Who grabbed the most rebounds? Who hit the biggest shots? However, I'm taking this opportunity to thank a player for her contributions that are more significant than any stats, which leaves me with an impossible task tonight. How do I properly thank my senior captain, Sienna Fedor, for helping us build our girls basketball program into something that is so well respected in our school and our surrounding community? Sienna represents everything a coach could ever ask for in a student athlete. She puts others first and leads by example. At halftime of every JV game, Sienna was out on the court rebounding for the JV girls to make sure that they were fully warmed up for their game. She embodies the character and morals we try so hard to instill in our players. During a recent half day, our administration was looking for some students to have lunch with our unified basketball team. Sienna stepped up and planned the entire afternoon, mixing our girls basketball team with the unified athletes. They had lunch together, and then Sienna organized an hour of practice where the teams worked together in relay races, shooting drills, and tons of competitions. The smiles, laughs, and special memories shared by both teams were all a product of Sienna's initiative. Sienna's impact and leadership extends beyond the walls of Lenape. When Mount Laurel Township basketball program reached out to me asking to host a clinic for young basketball players in the community, I did what any smart coach would do. I turned to Sienna and said, "Can you run this for me?" She planned 2 hours of drills, instruction, and games for young girls that play in our community. These girls may not remember the skills and lessons from the day, but they will surely remember the energy and enthusiasm and care that Sienna presented to all of them. It's easy to sum up my experience coaching Sienna Fedor. She makes me look good. She led us to success and accomplishments beyond anything I could have ever imagined on the court. Her heart, her hustle, and her determination will never be replaced. She was the heart and soul of our team, and that doesn't show up on a stat sheet. Off the court, she was the best leader I could have ever hoped for and the best leader I've ever experienced as a coach. Her personality, her humor, and her work ethic were just some of the reasons her teammates looked up to her and trusted her in the most intense situations and games. More importantly for me, however, she became a role model for young athletes in our community. I hope Sienna understands the profound impact she has had on me as a coach, on her teammates, but more importantly, on the community around her, who look forward to coming to Lenape someday to follow in her footsteps. We should be proud to have athletes like Sienna Fedor representing our school, because I am proud to say I had her representing our girls' basketball team and representing me as a coach. Thank you, Sienna. Up next, Mr. Chris Eastlick.
Please join me in congratulating Maddox Meisner for this year's People's Choice Award. I've had the pleasure of teaching Maddox for the past 2 years. Moreover, I've had both of his older sisters as well. Maddox comes from a great family and it's been a pleasure to have all three of the Meisners. He's always polite, says hello, good morning, goodbye, or whatever the occasion calls for. In addition, Maddox works at ShopRite right by my house, and as a foods teacher, I stop there almost every other day. He always goes out of his way to say hello, or I hear, "What's up, Mr. Eastlick?" from across the parking lot. I always look forward to talking to Maddox in class, the hall, ShopRite, whatever it is. Next year will be the first time in 7 years I will not have a Meisner in my class, and it's been a pleasure having all three of them over the years, and I wish all of them the best of luck in the future. Maddox Meisner. No hugs. All right, next up, Mrs. Hart.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to make a couple of statements off script, and then I will get back onto this. Last year, I received a text message around the time that many of you parents and guardians received the letter that your child would be up here. And that question was, "Is my child your nominee?" I said no. I said no because I knew I'd be standing here today. Just like I know I'll be standing here in 9 years when I recognize this nominee's little sister who's somewhere in the crowd. This year's nomination is truly a no-brainer. The young man being recognized tonight possesses an exceptional combination of qualities that make him stand out as a remarkable individual. His impact is undeniable, leaving a lasting impression on everyone he encounters. As an unintentional mentor to a group of peers in Spanish 1 last year, he demonstrated a level of maturity and wisdom far beyond his years. Miles Primus is not only respectable, but he is also truly respected to all who have the pleasure of knowing him. I consider myself incredibly fortunate to have watched Miles grow from a child into the incredible person he is today. Our friendship began when I met his family in Puerto Rico when he was about 9 years old, and has flourished into a bond that has weathered the test of time. Miles has an undeniable presence, not just because of his towering stature, but because of the natural confidence and unwavering leadership he exudes effortlessly, calming those around him. I have no doubt that Miles will achieve greatness in whatever path he chooses to follow. It has been an absolute pleasure to know him and his wonderful family. Miles, you will leave a void when you are no longer with us, but your impact will never fade from our hearts and memories. Please join me in recognizing Miles Primus, my choice this year. Thank you very much. Up next is Mrs. Ariana Robinette. Thank you.
Okay. So first of all, I want to apologize to all my students here that I lied to this past, I want to say 2 weeks. To every single one of you, I lied. So let's start. So many people ask me why I decided to be a teacher. And I believe that almost everyone can name a teacher that has impacted them the most in their lives. Shout out to Mrs. Allemeyer. That one that you will always remember. Now, let's reverse the roles for a second. Kids don't really decide to be students, right? They're just thrown into it, told to be great, be kind to one another, get good grades, do all the sports that you can do, be good, have fun, not too much fun, right? Oh, hey, by the way, you'll be here 12 years. Us parents, between one first day of school photo and another, hardly ever say, oh, by the way, be an amazing student so that you can make an impact on somebody. Kids are not really expected to make an impact, just like they're expected to get good grades. Yet every day, some of them do. My people's choice has been making an impact in my life every single day for the past 2 years. I can safely say that she's the most genuine teenager I've ever had the pleasure to meet, the bubbliest personality I've ever had to deal with, and the kindest young woman who has ever shared a venting session about her weekend or her life or her dance competitions with me. Paige Wolf, you have made an impact on me, and you are one of my whys. Your genuine smiles in the hallways, your outfit and hair compliments, and the way that you greet all of my students for me with a loud buongiorno, your arms crossed, and a teacher-like look, even if you're supposed to be in physics. And please, let's never forget, never, your daily loud laughs about my accent or my English mistakes. All of those are one of the many reasons why I absolutely love being a teacher, but most importantly, I love being your teacher. Paige, I'm going to use Italian here, even if you sometimes joke about not fully getting what I'm saying and that you're taking the class because it's me teaching it and you want to hang out. I want to say grazie, which is thank you, by the way. Grazie for making my sometimes tough job a whole lot easier. You remind me of the real joy in teaching, the beauty of those genuine connections between two people that didn't really have to have one, and that awesome feeling of impacting each other's life. So please come on up so I can give you a hug. Okay, so next up is Miss Stacy Williams.
Good evening. Tonight I am nominating Destiny Vincent for her leadership qualities. You can come on up, it's okay. She is an excellent example of what dedication and commitment looks like. It has been an honor to personally experience the professionalism of Destiny. She served consecutive years as president of the African American Culture Club, and I'm sure she would have continued as president, but this is her senior year. The resilience that was demonstrated when opposition came, let me backtrack. I'm sure she would have continued as president, but this is her senior year. The resilience that was demonstrated when opposition came, or the overcoming attitude that was shown when faced with adversity, is a lesson we all can glean from her. For example, last year the club was met with a dilemma less than 24 hours before the show. Where many were complaining, feeling defeated, Destiny led the charge with such grace and determination that we were redirected to press forward without any doubt that we were going to make the best out of the situation and not be deterred. To see the heads lifted and the countenance of her peers lifted, it really inspired us all. To be able to possess these types of qualities and be settled in them with unwavering strength, Destiny has a very bright future ahead of her. Lenape has been blessed to walk alongside her academic career these last 4 years, and we look forward to hearing about all the barriers she will break through in the future as her foundation is sure. Thank you, Destiny, for being bold enough to not follow the crowd, to know you are enough, to know you can make a difference in your uniqueness. Now we send you off with a charge. Never change, never settle. Shine bright and continue to lead strong. Destiny is my People's Choice nominee. Congratulations. Next up, I'd like to introduce Mr. Ebbison.
All right, good evening. I'm very fortunate to speak here tonight. I look forward to this night every year, and I've had my nominee for 3 straight years, which, given the courses that I teach, I'm very fortunate to have that opportunity. There's a purpose and a calling for everyone on this planet. Some are destined for engineering or business, some will become chefs or service professionals. Some will become scientists, and some will make art. When finding the right path, one's confidence can be shaken, but through determination, that path can become clear. That most certainly is true for my People's Choice nominee. Things haven't always been easy, and this student has seen her fair share of bad days. But despite that, I have seen her confidence continue to soar since her freshman year. It has been a wonder to see that once she found the right path, an incredibly talented, dedicated, and creative young woman emerged. Film and broadcasting is her calling, and she tackles each challenge with a smile and an incredible amount of positivity. I want to take this moment to say that I am so proud of you, and I can only imagine how far you will go from here. It is my honor to present this People's Choice Award to Reagan Corr. Introducing Mrs. Riches.
Good evening. My nominee fits the proverb, still waters run deep. She is quietly generous with her kindness and her patience. She gets along with everyone in our entrepreneurship class, and her sweet, easy smile is always genuine. She's smart, humble, and hardworking. In addition, what I admire most in this teenager is that she, like my mom used to say, minds her own beeswax. My nominee is Sophie Tangier. Next up is my dear friend, Steph Novella.
Okay, this is hard because so many of my favorites are on stage, and every one of you deserve to be here. But I'm going to start with a quote from Zig Ziglar. You never know when a moment and a few sincere words can have an impact on a life. CeCe, you have impacted my life. I met CeCe last spring when she volunteered to help me and the craft club make names for the back of the senior trip shirts. It was a crazy day. I was a bit frantic and probably not my best self. Did I mention it was the day before the trip and we had 200 names to design, weed the vinyl, prep, alphabetize? It was crazy. CeCe jumped right in and started working, not frazzled a bit. As we sat there weeding the vinyl, we chatted a bit. I can't remember what we talked about, but I remember thinking, wow, what a great kid. I believe I may have told her she needed to join yearbook and take my graphics classes the following year. Luckily for me, she did both. CeCe, it has been a pleasure having you in graphic presentations. Your smile and positive attitude is infectious. I know that on difficult days in class when I'm struggling to get through a lesson, I can glance over at you and my stress melts away. Thank you, and thank you for being my yearbook editor this year. I could not have gotten half of the pages done without your dedication. I will truly miss having you in D113 with me next year because you have impacted my life. Thank you. Thank you. And I did not forget Mrs. Cummins.
All right. Good evening. I am Dana Cummins, and it's my absolute pleasure to nominate Morgan Jastemski for my People's Choice Award. I first met Morgan during her sophomore year when she was a student in my health and physical education class. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. The people we meet, the problems we face, and the events that take place are all part of our life's predetermined storyline. Morgan being a student in my class during her sophomore year happened for a reason. Morgan was and continues to be every teacher's dream student. She comes to class smiling, works well with others, and is an absolute delight to be around. During the middle of Morgan's sophomore year, her family suffered a terrible tragedy. I cannot even begin to imagine the incredible stress and pain that both Morgan and her family had to endure during this time. But Morgan handled herself with such grace. I was in awe of the strength that she exhibited throughout this unimaginable time for her and her family. That September, Morgan returned to school and immediately asked me if I would be the advisor to a club that she wanted to form in honor of her brother. Morgan's hope was to have Lenape students make handmade cards with uplifting messages and send them to children that are hospitalized. Morgan's dream ended up becoming a reality, and the Cards for Kids Club was created. Since that day, Morgan has impressed me with her leadership skills and her creativity when it came to planning and hosting different events and fundraisers for the club. Morgan is turning her negative into a positive, and I am so incredibly proud of her. From a young age, we are taught that our elders are the ones who teach us life lessons. However, Morgan has taught me so many things about the power of perseverance and life. She has taught me to live in the moment, be good to others, and that if life hands you lemons, learn how to juggle. Morgan, it has been an absolute honor to be part of your journey here at Lenape for the past 3 years. I've enjoyed watching you grow up into a mature, caring, and extremely driven young woman. I will miss our lunches, the laughs, and your brutal honesty when telling me that my jokes were horrible and then begging me not to repeat them to others. Although my heart aches that you will be leaving me in June, I will forever cherish the memories that we have made. I cannot wait to see all the amazing things that you will take on and conquer in your next chapter when you graduate from Lenape and head off to college. I will wish you nothing but the best, and I will be cheering you on every step of the way. Congratulations. Next up, Mrs. Jody Stansberry.
Hi, good evening. First of all, I want to say congratulations to all the students. I see so many kids out there that I've had the pleasure of teaching and coaching during my long tenure here at Lenape, so congratulations to you guys. I have 2 students that I have picked, so please celebrate with me. My first People's Choice is a very special young lady who brings joy to everyone she meets. I had the pleasure of having Leila in both my sports medicine class and my health and PE classes last year. Come on up, Leila. She entered A212 with a smile on her face and talking a mile a minute, even faster than me. Leila is very humble, warm, and friendly to everyone. She is super smart, an amazing volleyball player, and has the personality that will ensure her a bright future in the medical field. But she knows that hard work makes the dream work. She is talented, but she also studies and is a role model for her classmates, all while being an upstander and a true leader at Lenape. It is students like you, Leila, that make teaching a true joy. This year, I get to see you daily when you enter A212 and I am leaving. I quiz you on your sports medicine facts and you gladly answer. I look forward to our short, friendly conversations every day. I'm so proud of you and wish you the best as you begin your medical journey at St. Joe's University, majoring as a physician assistant in the College of Health Sciences. I know you will continue to influence others in a very positive way. I am proud to say I was your teacher and I knew you back when. I will miss you and think of you often. Now go out there and make a difference. Congratulations. Okay, my second nominee this year is a very special young lady as well. Come on up, Aaliyah. Vincent. These Vincent girls, they're a duo. Excellent. So Aaliyah is in my sports medicine class this year, and she's also the president of our future medical professional club. And she was one of the founders from a couple of years ago. So I've been working with Aaliyah closely for 2 years. And she has a dream of being a nurse anesthetist, which I'm very proud of. Aaliyah works above and beyond coordinating meetings, speakers, PowerPoints, and activities for the club. I always ask her, oh gosh, what template did you use? Or how did you do that? Or where did you find that information? So she's right on the ball. She's mature beyond her years. She keeps me in line, making sure I'm up to date on our events. And I also have Aaliyah, as I said, in sports medicine class. She goes above and beyond in class. Her notes are impeccable and duplicated. She makes study guides for herself and suggests websites for her classmates to use to help them. She's the first person to raise her hand and come in for extra study time. I truly enjoy when she comes in at lunch and we can just sit and talk about sports medicine and a lot of other things. Her questions are insightful. She is intrinsically motivated and she knows how important it is to grasp every aspect of her learning. It is students like Aaliyah that make teaching a true joy. Aaliyah, I wish you all the best as you embark on your professional journey. I know you will be a true success in wherever life takes you. I will miss you, but you are now ready to embark on your new adventure. Congratulations. Yeah, we're going to go here. And now I'd like to introduce Mr. Joe DeJulius.
Good evening. I am very good at wasting time on TikTok. A few months ago, I was scrolling one night and I came across a video from Simon Gillum, who has 8.3 million followers on the platform. Simon asked, if you were in a room with all the people you've ever met in your whole life, who would you look for? Take a moment to think about that. Of course, I immediately thought of my family and friends, but then I started to think about all the other people who have made a positive impact on my life. My teachers, mentors, colleagues, and students. The People's Choice Awards is one of my favorite events each year because I get the opportunity to tell a student how much they have positively impacted my life. I always nominate a senior for the award. This year it was especially difficult to select a nominee because the class of 2024 is such a special group. However, there are 4 individuals who I would definitely look for in a room of many. I know we're only supposed to nominate one student, but Ryan Dixon, Michael George, Victor Haynes, and Andrew Schenk have been constant sources of sunshine in my life. Come on up. We talk a lot at Lenape about the Lenape family, an environment where relationships among students and staff are characterized by mutual respect, trust, and personal bonds that resemble those traditionally found in a family unit. Ryan, Michael, Victor, and Andrew embody those values. These young men are the ones who lend a helping hand without hesitation, who offer words of encouragement when needed most, and who celebrate others' successes as if they were their own. Ryan, Michael, Victor, and Andrew possess an extraordinary gift: the ability to create connections that transcend the ordinary. Their presence enriches my life in ways that words cannot fully express, and for that, I am truly grateful. Congratulations. Mess your hair up. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. It's my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Laura Lamberto, and I also want to congratulate her on the birth of her new child.
Good evening, and congratulations to all of this year's nominees, especially my nominee, Miss Sammy Twizzler. Come on up, Sammy. I have been writing this speech in my head for Sammy for the past 4 years. I first met her at cheerleading tryouts in August before her freshman year, and she is as sweet and funny now as she was then. Sammy's mom, Beth, kindly lets me have the role of her school mom, and it's been a true privilege of my career to have this title. Sometime after my son was born, I told Sammy that if God were to also give me a daughter someday, it's because I had passed the tests with her. And Sammy, I must have passed the test since my daughter Audrey was just born 2 weeks ago. When Sammy found out earlier this year that I was expecting a baby girl, she would love to tell me that she couldn't wait for the day Audrey will call her up to commiserate about me. And I would roll my eyes and say to her, well, Audrey will not have any need to do that because obviously she is going to listen to and respect every word I say. What I didn't tell Sammy until now is that in reality, I can only hope that someday my little Audrey will call her up, because I can't think of a better role model for my own daughter than Sammy. And it would be an honor to have a strong young woman in her corner to help her develop a similar sense of compassion, intelligence, and wit. Sammy and I share a mutual appreciation for many things, and one of the greatest is poetry. Even though I am still scarred from the time I attended a poetry contest for Sammy and wore a blazer, and she told the people in charge of the event that I was the principal of the school because she thought I was dressed so formally. Therefore, it seems only fitting that I end this speech with a line from a poem that is appropriate for mothers and daughters. E. Cummings writes, "Here is the root of the root and the bud of the bud and the sky of a tree called life, which grows higher than soul can hope or mind can hide, and this is the wonder that's keeping the stars apart. I carry your heart, I carry it in my heart." Thank you, Sammy, for letting me carry your heart for the past few years. And thank you to Mom Beth, Dad Bill, Brother Matt, Grandma Marlene, and King Duncan the Pug for making me an honorary Twizzler at many of Sammy's events the past 4 years. As Sammy likes to end her emails, love you, mean it. Up next is Miss Pamela Bussarello.
Hello, everybody, and good evening. It's interesting, I didn't even realize this, but as I've been sitting here, I noticed that most of the nominees tonight have been upperclassmen, and my nominee is actually a freshman. And I want to preface my speech by saying that I've picked him because of what I see as potential, and I believe that everything you've heard said about so many of the people on the stage will apply to Colin Beck one day. So Colin, if you could come up here. Colin did ask me today if I was the one who nominated him, and all I could say to him was that I don't have a good poker face. So it was true. But as an English teacher, as you can imagine, I value words. And as I walk around the halls of a high school every day, I often hear words that are questionable. And some students just say no words at all. But Colin is very much different, and that is why I value him. Every interaction I have had with him, and he is sure to interact with me every single day that he is in my class, has been a respectful one and an intentional one, and often a compassionate one. He has never entered my classroom without greeting me and leaves each day with a smile and some sort of personal touch. Mr. Tamburello spoke earlier about Anna Becker, and his words were the same, that you always come to my desk before you leave and make sure we chat. Sometimes he'll tell me to have a good weekend or ask my plans for a holiday. Sometimes we'll spend the entire period talking. He'll tell me about wrestling or working at a boxing event with his brother. He often shares accomplishments of his sisters, Haley, because he's very proud of her. And sometimes he also shares with me some of the concerns he has regarding his friends and the choices they're making, the decisions that high schoolers are going through. And I can tell that he wants what's best for the people who care about him. And I want the best for Colin. Colin, Nelson Mandela is quoted as saying, "May your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears." You are a freshman boy with a lot going on. It's natural at this stage and at this age to be looking for your place and for your value. I chose you for my People's Choice this year because I value you and I see hope in you, and I know you see it in others. Through our conversations, I see the hope you have for yourself. I am here to remind you that that your place can and should be a positive one. It has been for me this year, and I'm very grateful. Show this school and the world how kind you are and how real you are, and how good you are, and how your words and your choices can warm and help and connect. You deserve it, and so does everybody else. And now I'd like to introduce Mr. Jack Franchi.
All right, I would like my People's Choice candidate to join me up here. So Casey Colbridge, then you could slide over. What can I say about Casey? To call her a great musician is to woefully undersell it. She is tirelessly dedicated to the music program and to her own growth as an artist. She is a superb student to have in class, and I should know. I've taught her in 4 classes since I got here last year. She's over my jokes, trust me. She can often express more in a sideways look, she can often express more in a sideways look than other students could say in paragraphs. She is fiercely devoted to her friends and family, and she consistently puts others before herself. When Casey felt quite ill and had to go home midday, the first thing she did was reach out and apologize for being sick around me and possibly bringing something home to my family. Her resume is full of honors and accolades, but where others would gloat or flaunt, she volunteers. She takes initiative. She helps her fellow students, and she will 100% hold you accountable if she knows you can do better. She is not only an excellent musician and a leader and a wonderful person, she is an excellent musician and an excellent leader because she is a wonderful person. Casey, 2 years was not long enough, but the road doesn't stop once you graduate. While I am selfishly incredibly proud of the fact that you plan to pursue music education, the reality is that you'd have an army of supporters no matter what path you chose. It has been an honor to have played some small role in your journey, and I know that I would be a very lucky parent if my children were in Miss Colbridge's class. You are welcome back anytime you'd like, and I will think of you whenever we play Sleigh Ride. Thank you. And now I'd like to welcome up Miss Dina Cerille.
Choosing someone to nominate this year was a difficult one because I've been lucky enough to come across so many wonderful students here at Lenape. As I narrowed my decision, I was reminded of a quote from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. Sometimes I've believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast. I have witnessed my people's choice turn these impossible things into realities through her high school journey. Much like Alice's whimsical adventures, Darcy has had the ability to bring dreams to life both on and off the stage. I met Darcy in her sophomore year as she auditioned for the fall drama Alice in Wonderland. And even as an underclassman, Darcy's dedication to her art was easily recognized. She has not only embraced her roles with unmatched dedication, but has also extended a helping hand to fellow actors, inspiring camaraderie that elevates the entire cast. During long rehearsals, I have seen Darcy offer to help fellow cast members run lines, fix makeup and hair, and provide words of encouragement. Her kindness has created an atmosphere of support that extends well beyond the stage. As this year's president of Lenape's Drama Club, Darcy has made sure to listen to the opinions of all members to decide on what to focus on during meetings. She also had the awesome idea to host an end-of-year party for everyone to celebrate their hard work. Miss Girl, I cannot wait to see you in your future performances as you light up the stage on your next adventure. Remember, nothing is impossible, and thank you for proving that true greatness is not only found on the stage, but in the warmth and generosity you share with those around you. And I'd like to introduce Mr. Brendan Moore.
Good morning, Mr. Moore. How are you today? This is the greeting I am lucky to receive almost every day from my People's Choice nominee. It's often something that I look forward to, especially in the early morning hours at school. Sometimes, all it takes is a small spark of positivity to make someone's day, and Rachel certainly has that effect on me. Rachel Lawrence, please join me at the podium. This is great. I just want to say in preface, before I start reading this, that this is one of my favorite nights of the year, because this is a chance for us as teachers to talk about our students really positively. And I wanted to say that in a world full of uncertainty and negativity and darkness, these students here up on the stage are all shining lights in that darkness. Yeah, absolutely, applaud. And I'm so excited to talk about Rachel. So, I first met Rachel during her freshman year as a member of my chorus class. Even in the midst of the COVID pandemic, Rachel was a shining positive light. I had the pleasure of truly getting to know you through our show that year, the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, and Rachel played an excellent Leaf Coney Bear. From there, Rachel has continued to be a fantastic student, singing with my concert choir as a member of my tenor section, and also currently serving as my tenor section leader. She has also participated in every musical here at Lenape, from that very first COVID show with its great restrictions, to most recently playing a fantastic donkey in our production of Shrek. Yeah. Rachel is also an incredibly involved student, working hard for our Lenape District Television Station and our LTV filming events, and working with clubs and after-school activities. And if you've ever heard about Rachel on the street, well, here she is. I admire Rachel's dedication to learning, performing, and participating, and hope her example can serve younger students well. I also deeply appreciate her leadership abilities, as she is capable of motivating her fellow classmates in a kind way, especially during choral warm-ups. I genuinely look forward to seeing Rachel in the morning. Whether she's just dropping by to say hello or to tell me about how her morning is going, I always enjoy the energy and positivity she brings, even when it's 7:15 a.m. and I'm not quite awake just yet. As this is Rachel's senior year, next year I will miss my early morning greetings. I know in my heart, however, that Rachel will be incredibly successful in the future, and I cannot wait to see you on the screen or perhaps in the classroom. I know. Rachel, I wish you all the best, and I fully expect to see you at next year's choir concert. Congratulations to Rachel Lawrence, my People's Choice Award nominee. I would like to introduce Ms. Kat Boger.
I recognized this energetic spirit animal of mine last year in the hallways of Lenape. She caught my eye with her beautiful, curly hair and her contagious smile that matched the bounce in her step. From that day on, we exchanged hellos from time to time. I always felt her positive energy. Fast forward to this year, September 2024, guess who walked through my classroom door? There she was with the same energy, happy, smiling, and excited to learn. I am a firm believer of the energy you give is the energy you get. Jamie, you beam with such fun, happy, and enthusiastic energy. You're creative, joyful, kind, insightful, outgoing, and unique. You put forth your best effort and raise the bar for your classmates. Jamie, thank you for going out of your way to brighten my day with your smile and/or with a friendly hug. Please keep sharing your heart with the world. Your kind actions and cheerful spirit have a way of spreading sunshine wherever you go. Thank you for always adding a sparkle to my day, every day here at Lenape. Jamie, keep spreading your sunshine. Keep being you. Jamie Powell, you are my America's Choice Award. My American Choice. I said America. Congratulations.
This is shiny.
And now I introduce Stephanie Sharback.
Good evening. I would like to begin by welcoming up my People's Choice nominee, Natalie Aluf. In a class of 30 with some very large personalities, it can be easy to recede into the background and glide on by. Natalie, however, never considered this for a moment. While she may not be the loudest voice in the room, she never fails to make a big impact. Each day, she walks in and greets me warmly, takes out her materials, and is ready to work. Natalie consistently produces incredible work and demonstrates a diligence rarely seen in the classroom today. When given the opportunity to go above and beyond, Natalie takes it with grace and little complaint. Over the course of this year, she's produced speeches, projects, and artistic assignments that have shown her commitment to learning and excellence. In addition to her academic prowess, Natalie is an excellent classmate and helps any student in class who may need assistance with review or notes or additional explanation, even if they get mad when she wins every review game. Natalie is clearly a leader in class, but more importantly, she is caring, generous, and kind. It is my honor to nominate and celebrate Natalie Aluf. I knew I was gonna do that. I'm gonna blame pregnancy brain on it. I would like to welcome up Miss Gina John Batista.
I knew you'd forget. Hi, everyone. My nomination for People's Choice is Christiana Wells. You can come on up. I'm so sorry for the past few weeks having to pretend like I had no idea what you were talking about when you told me about this awards night. Christiana is an absolute pleasure to have in class. When I came in as her teacher mid-year, and she was one of the first people to welcome me into the Lenape family. She always puts her best effort into her work and genuinely cares about the final product. She comes into class every day with a positive attitude and a smile on. I can always count on Christiana for a hello and a conversation every day. She is kind and hardworking, and I know she will do great things as she continues on her high school journey. I can't wait to see what comes next. Next up is Mr. Tyler Philippone.
Good evening. My People's Choice this evening goes to Mr. Gavin Murphy. Hi, bud. When you become a teacher, they ask one simple question. Why did you want to become a teacher? For some, it's that passion for their content. For others, it's definitely that summer vacation. For me, it's because I get to work with great students like Gavin Murphy. I've had the honor to work with Gavin for 2 years now, and in that short time, he has grown and matured so much. Gavin is the most positive and energetic student who walks the halls of Lenape High School. In the mornings, he stops by my room just to give a solid dab up, ask how my day is going, and see if he can grab a snack or candy for the road. The process repeats in the afternoons when he comes to class. These small moments make my day, and I look forward to them, and he is a role model, a leader, and to simply put it, just a good human being. Gavin has come a long way from his freshman year. There were high points, and there were definitely some lows. During these times, Gavin always put in the work and pulled through, definitely with some help from Team Gavin. You know who you are. He advocates and challenges himself and is proving he can do it, even proving some people wrong. Some of my favorite core memories will be going with Gavin and sitting with him with his teacher during lunch and learn to make sure he got his missing work completed and helping you clean out your book bag and making it 5 pounds lighter. Another thing is also beating you at gin rummy 7 times in a row. Rematch soon? In addition, Gavin is a leading peer leader and a student outreach for the No Place for Hate program here at Lenape, and shows his passion for making change. He volunteers his time to help and plan events, makes everyone feel included, and promotes that change is possible just by being a little kind to one another. Gavin has said that he wants to make the world a better place. But guess what, Gavin? You already have by being in it and being so awesome. Gavin Murphy, you are one great student and person. You have a long journey ahead. Whatever that journey looks like, I know you are going to be fantastic at it. I'm so proud of you and so glad I've had a small part in helping you be successful. You have no idea how much you make a difference here at Lenape. And you, Gavin, more importantly, have helped me become a better teacher and always remind me of my why. Thanks, buddy. Next up is Miss Sarah Allen.
Good evening. My people's choice is someone that inspires me to be a better person. She is someone that I have admired since she walked into my class this past September. She is hardworking, respectful, kind, and positive every single day. I truly believe that she is one of the most compassionate and kindest souls ever put on this earth, and this is truly no exaggeration. Not a day goes by where she does not ask me how I am doing and wish me well when she leaves class. And even her email messages are constructed with care in content and precision of language. She is genuinely concerned with your well-being as much as her own, to an extent that makes her one of a kind. The Dalai Lama once said, "If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion." Bianca Gia, you are my people's choice, and I truly believe that through your compassion and thoughtfulness for others, you will not only make their lives better, but you'll also find true happiness and pure contentment. You can come on up. Thank you, Bianca, for being someone that reminds me and encourages me to take the time to show compassion and love to others. Thank you for your thoughtful emails, conversations, and prayers before my surgery. Simply thank you for being you. You are impacting the lives of those around you. I wish you nothing but the best as you enter life beyond Lenape, an impressive year before her peers, and I know that you will achieve anything that you set out to do with determination, character, and heart. Congratulations. You're welcome. 2 in a row. Next up is Mr. Kyle Nicastro.
Sarah warned me that she may have forgotten to introduce me, so I was ready to come up here. First, before I start, I want to thank the boys lacrosse team for playing an efficient game today. For those that you don't know, I'm the head athletic trainer here at Lenape High School, so I got to endure the rain and wind while our lacrosse team was playing tonight, and they were quickly efficient, and we got the win, yes. and allowed me to get in here with a terrific wet hair and hat head to get in here and talk about my nominee. So with that said, Vince Lombardi once said, "Leaders aren't born, they're made. And they're made just like anything else, through hard work." Ryan Dixon, you epitomize this quote. Over the last 4 years, I've watched you grow into an incredible leader. Your ability to lead your classmates and teammates through hard work was never more apparent than this past year. Even though that you could not play football this past fall, you continued to support your teammates day in and day out, while you were hard at work rehabbing your injury to return in time for lacrosse. The perseverance you showed to overcome 2 major surgeries, and yes, I consider a surprise appendectomy a major surgery, going through one myself, and returning before the lacrosse season while continuing to be the leader that you are for your peers inside and outside the classroom was remarkable to watch. This is where the next part of this gets a little bit difficult. Last week, unfortunately, I had to add to this speech. Ryan got to start in his first game back last week and unfortunately suffered a setback. And given my history, a quick background of my history and why I'm in the role that I am here, I too was on a similar trajectory as Ryan, aspiring to play college sports, scholar athlete, hoping to continue on. I too sustained a serious injury that didn't allow me to pursue that. And at that point, and still to this day, I had a hard time understanding why. And as I was going through that process, my father continued to remind me that everything happens for a reason. Yes, I know it sounds cliche. And I continue to remind myself that that's the case. And it's been years and years and years since that, and I still haven't found that reason. Well, April 2nd, around 5:00 p.m., when we were on the turf, when Ryan went down, and I was tending to him on the field, it dawned on me that that was the reason why I did endure everything I did. It was because I needed to be there in that moment, going through it all myself, to support you and continue to support you as you begin this journey again. Please understand, life is going to throw you obstacles everywhere that you go. You have a constant reminder that you can overcome them. When no matter what the world throws at you, no matter how difficult things feel, roll your pant leg up, look at those scars on that left knee, and know that you've been through harder. It has been a pleasure working with you and watching you grow into a tremendous young man and leader. I'm so excited to see what the future holds for you. Congrats, Ryan Dixon. And I did to Sarah Allen. Next up is Miss Devin Gupta.
I just wanted to say real quick, I see so many seniors up here, and I'm incredibly proud of you. You make me so honored to be your class advisor. I know a lot of the other staff here tonight have mentioned that your class is really special, and you really have made such a positive mark on the school, and those of you sitting on the stage are a huge reason why. So you should be extremely proud of yourselves. I'm sure your families are really proud of you, so thank you for making me so happy to be your class advisor. So I do have a nominee, and he is a senior. My People's Choice nominee this year is someone whose politeness makes him stand out from the rest. Without fail, he always asks me about my day, how I'm doing, and about my plans for the weekend. Those small gestures are so appreciated. As a student who transferred here from Russia, Arseny Heligan could be introverted in the Lenape setting that I'm sure must be overwhelming at times. Instead, he shows his sense of humor and actively participates in class discussions. He has become a leader in my US 1 class, sharing his experiences in Russia and his knowledge of world affairs. He is respectful towards me and other students without fail, and despite being out of his comfort zone, he makes an effort to make others feel comfortable. I'm so glad I've gotten the chance to get to know Arseny and see him thrive despite the challenges that he's faced. Congratulations, Arseny. You've earned this recognition. And next up is Miss Lord.
The bell rings, and it's time for Class 5 to make their way to biology. I stand at the door and watch down the hall as students make their way to my room. From the other side of the hall, I hear, "Miss Lord," and without even looking to see who it is, I smile and say, "Hey, Maddie B." Maddie is a student who immediately puts a smile on my face. The energy that she has is infectious. Maddie is honest and humble. She is kind and welcoming. Maddie's most redeeming quality is that she is willing to help anyone in need, whether academically or personally. High school can be difficult. Making new friends and dealing with your own personal life struggles can be a challenge, but Maddie is the type of student who treats every single person the same, no matter their story. Students like Maddie are hard to find, except for on this stage. Outgoing, inclusive, and friendly. I am excited to see how the rest of your years at Lenape play out, and hope to see you in genetics. And next up is Miss Cassie Olenitz.
Good evening. My nomination is Kiana Cerille. Kiana, you can come up. This year, I have had the pleasure of getting to know Kiana in my probability and statistics class. Each day, Kiana exudes a friendly demeanor that uplifts the entire class. Whether it's participating in group activities or offering assistance to her classmates, Kiana demonstrates remarkable adaptability and cooperation. She can lead her group when they are stuck on a problem, but she is always willing to hear out her classmates' ideas. Her infectious smile never fails to brighten my day, and her genuine warmth is evident even in passing encounters in the hallway. There are some days when I will pass her 3 or 4 times in the halls, and each time she greets me with the same enthusiasm and kindness as if it was the first. Kiana also has an incredible work ethic. She approaches every task with diligence, and she works hard and asks questions until she gets it right. These are just a few of the traits that make Kiana such a remarkable young lady. It has been a joy to see her grow as a student in class, and I look forward to seeing her achieve much more with the bright future she has ahead of her. Congratulations, Kiana. And now I would like to introduce Mr. Jerry Swindell.
Good evening, everyone. I just have to say, as a teacher, sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves, and because we focus on the lesson plans, getting things ready for all our students we see during the day. But my personal, the person I chose kind of helped get the day started, because sometimes we have routines. We make sure we have to get our coffee in the morning. We have to do things to get everything prepared. But that one time you forget or you can't get your coffee, and then you realize, wait, our school store has coffee. Wow. Not expecting to walk to the school store with coffee on my mind and get greeted by Max with a smile, a hearty fist bump, no matter what kind of day I may have. Being greeted by a student that shows general concern and willing to share his joy of being happy to see you is amazing. I nominate Max Meisner for my People's Choice Award. Next up is Liz Louder.
You know. Good evening, everyone. This year, I'm pleased to announce that my People's Choice Award goes to Antonio D'Alessio. Antonio is a student whose smile and laughter are contagious. He lights up any room or hallway he walks into. Despite the fact, Antonio, that you're a Cowboys fan, there are so many amazing reasons why you deserve this award. I could be here for a really long time, so instead I just made a short list of a few reasons. Can you help me with this? This is all your reasons. Antonio, you always accept new tasks with enthusiasm, you're appreciative, you're bright. Are you listening? Yeah, I am. And you have a really big heart. You're cooperative, considerate, caring, and you crack me up. You're down to earth and dependable. You're easygoing, empathetic, and enthusiastic. You're flexible, friendly, and fiercely loyal. You have a great sense of humor. You're generous, genuine, and you get my jokes. Not everybody does. Yeah, that's true, he said. You're hardworking, you're humorous, you help others, you're huggable, you're independent and intelligent, you're joyful and kind, you're loving and lovable. You're motivated, mature. You make my day. You're nice and open and outgoing, you have a positive attitude, you're polite. You're quick-witted, reliable, responsible, and respectful. You show initiative, you're sincere and successful. You're very thoughtful and trustworthy, you're unique and unforgettable. You're a versatile and valued employee at the school store, and you're warm-hearted and witty. You're just excellent. You have made us so proud. You tell zingers, and sometimes you're a little zany, but that's what we love about Antonio. With so many wonderful qualities, it's obvious why we will miss you so much next year. You have been a great role model to the younger students, and they will miss having you around. And I know the staff will greatly miss your humor, fun, and easygoing personality. It has been my honor watching you grow into the fine, responsible, and mature young man that you are today. I wish you the best of luck next year, but I know you will not need it. I am confident that you will be successful in anything you set your mind to. Congratulations, Antonio. And next up, Mr. Gerald Richardson.
Good evening, parents, family, and friends. And let me first say thank you for raising amazing students here. We appreciate them here at Lenape and the impact they have made. And congratulations to each of you for receiving your award tonight. Good time to clap. My People's Choice nominee, before I say that, Mr. Porco, thank you for recognizing I have the best beard at Lenape, by the way, too. All right, appreciate that. My People's Choice nomination is sure to make you laugh. They made me laugh every day at Lenape. I mean, sometimes my stomach hurt. I could always expect to hear a funny weekend update, and then on Monday morning when she came into class. And throughout the week, it was about the weekend plans. Most of the laughs we had came from chemistry class because her initials appeared on a periodic table of elements. In fact, we made a joke about her nickname being Silver. My People's Choice nomination is Angela Green. She's my nomination because her initials AG and Silver, and we never talked about her atomic weight. However, she said hello to me every day with a very high-pitched voice in the hallways. Above all the loud noise, I can hear her voice. In the classroom, she always smiled. She had a great, she meted me greatly. Let me start this again. She meted me daily with a very southern, "Hey, Mr. Rich," you know. I think she was from somewhere down south, I don't know where. One of the things I most like about Miss Green here is that she saw me every day, she sought me out, and just to have an update on whatever was going on in her life. Most of our debates came from where the best chicken wings were located. But of course, she likes boneless wings. And I say, no, boneless wings are not chicken wings. They have to have a bone. For these reasons and many more, I selected Angela Green as my People's Choice Award recipient for 2024. And I can't wait till when she graduates, because she's going to drive in with this pink 4x4 with 47-inch lifts on it that says, "Girl, you know," on the back. Next up, Linda Kovacs.
It is my pleasure to speak on behalf of McKenna Stevens. I had the privilege of meeting McKenna this past summer at soccer practices, and right away I could tell what a great person she was. McKenna always made sure everyone was included, always worked hard, and was usually asking if she could run perimeters. She brought a high energy to practice and even walked around the entire perimeter of the athletic fields while wearing her inflatable dinosaur costume, just to help out with our scavenger hunt. After soccer, she started a totally new sport, winter track, and she excelled due to her work ethic. McKenna is the type of person that you see in the hallway, and she's always smiling, always says hi, and will brighten your day. She fosters dogs, volunteers at Top Soccer as a buddy, and is good with any kids, whether it's there or when the younger MLU players come to our games. McKenna Stevens embodies Lenape pride, and she is my nomination for the People's Choice Award. Next up, Miss Nicole Buck.
All right, I am pulling a double tonight in more ways than one, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. Miss Bernardo couldn't be here tonight, so I'm going to read her nominee first, but ours is kind of a package deal. Everyone knows the saying, 2 is better than 1. In this case, it really is true. Our People's Choice nominees are both outstanding Lenape students with a lot of heart, dedication, and passion. We have had the pleasure of watching them grow into 2 wonderful, unique individuals. I have known Akela for 4 years now. In those 4 years, I have had the absolute pleasure of watching her grow into the amazing person she is today. She is bright, kind, outgoing, and has a great sense of humor. She also has an upbeat, energetic personality that is truly infectious. In addition, Akela is a well-rounded student. She was virtual as a freshman and still managed to make a lasting impression on her teachers and classmates, bringing her sense of humor and personality to every lesson. She is an active participant in the African American Culture Club at Lenape, and she is highly requested at her job as a camp counselor. I'm so honored that I've had the privilege of teaching her for 2 years and that she still keeps in touch with me during lunch duty and between classes. Akela, your presence in A209 will be sorely missed next year, but I'm so excited for you and wish nothing but the absolute best in your future. For these reasons and so much more, I would like to nominate her for the People's Choice Award. We have both had the joy of watching you grow tremendously and are very proud of both of you. Congratulations. Okay. Okay. Did I do good today? Did I fake out? You got it? Yeah, congrats. From Miss B, she couldn't be here. It was okay. Okay, and then the other part of the dynamic duo, Miss Autumn Adorno. Come on up. Okay. I faked you out today? You did. Good. Okay. I'd like to take a few minutes to recognize Autumn and a few of her outstanding accomplishments throughout her 4 years at Lenape. I had the joy of having Autumn in my environmental science class her sophomore year. Her humor, work ethic, and excitement each day coming to class has stuck with me over the years. She was always eager to learn new things and, of course, try new experiments in Buck's Bodacious Lab. I always appreciated the eagerness and good vibes that she brought to our classroom. Although I only had Autumn her sophomore year, I've been lucky to remain in contact with her throughout her junior and now senior year, just by her visiting and coming to lunch every day. She has shown true growth academically and emotionally and continues to impress me daily with her growing, mature attitude. I've enjoyed seeing her branch out over the years and join various clubs and get involved in other school activities. Autumn, you will be truly missed next year, but we know you will go on to bigger and better things. Congrats. Next up, Ms. Beth Toth.
Before I bring up my nominee, I just want to show you my paper I started with an hour and 40 minutes, the paper I ended with. There's not enough ink in my pen for the amount of things that I want to say, so I can bring up my emotional support student, Myra Sad. Come on up. Where are you at? Come on. Okay. Little does Myra know that 365 days ago, when I sat right here, I listened to all of the wonderful stories about our students, and Myra's name came into my head, so she probably knew that I was the person that chose her for today, but little does she know that last year I also chose her as I was sitting down here. I've only known Myra for a year. This is only my second year here. She was in my environmental science class, and she sat on the other side of the room, super quiet, never really talked to me. I thought she just didn't like me. I don't know if it was the Vampire Diaries, Team Stefan versus Team Damon, or what it is, but now I can't have a day without Myra coming in being like, guess what happened last night, or guess what happened this weekend. So I'm very interested to see for the rest of the year and the rest of her life, hopefully, that what is going on in her life. Myra is truly exceptional. She exemplifies dedication, loyalty, and a remarkable spirit. She is 18, and if I was 18 years old, I wish that I had the values that Myra has. Not only as a student, but as a person. If I'm ever down, she certainly picks me up. Myra is not the only person that has taken a second class just so she has me, but she is someone that doesn't do option 2, which if you don't know option 2, they get to leave early, just so I could have her for a whole nother year. So she battles through 2 study halls at the end of the day just so I could have her for lunch and have her for astronomy. So I love her commitment and loyalty, I feel like, to me, to keep my day much better. We share a love for Gilmore Girls, and we both, if you don't know Gilmore Girls, there's a daughter and a mom, and we have the same age gap, so I always say that Myra is the Rory to my Lorelai. Myra embodies the loyalty and strength of Rory, while I find echoes of Lorelai's warmth and resilience in our interactions. She is truly an old soul. I feel like she should have been born in the late 80s, early 90s with her music and her show choices. She's always talking about all the shows that I watched when I was her age. I've watched her grow incredibly, not only as a student, as a person, and she's not only flourished academically, but she has grounded me amidst the chaos of the year. Myra's unwavering presence and willingness to lend a helping hand have been a constant reminder to the importance of community and connection. If you see the mess of my notes, you could probably imagine the mess of my desk on a daily basis, and I will truly miss next year someone yelling at me that they just cleaned my desk and now they'll have to do it again. I feel like Myra is my mom when it comes to my classroom. Though I've never had a daughter, I have a son, and I feel like Myra is basically a daughter to me. So if I could ever have a daughter, Myra would be the perfect template. Her maturity, kindness, and determination are qualities that will undoubtedly take her far in life. I am filled with anticipation to see where her journey leads, knowing that she has a bright future ahead thanks to her exceptional character and remarkable resilience. Congratulations, Myra, on this well-deserved honor. I can't wait to see the incredible things you accomplish. You will always be the Rory to my Lorelai. Thank you. Here, Boo-Boo. Next up is Miss Christy Joyce.
Hi. Every year, I give my People's Choice Award to a senior who's made a significant and positive impact on me throughout our time together. This year, I'm giving my People's Choice Award to Matthew Kahn. Matt, you have to come up here. You could rest it on here if you need to. I see you're not wearing your sling. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Oh, really? Oh, nice. Sorry. I can write a trilogy of books on why Matt is the perfect recipient of this award. And if the cons want to hear the full trilogy, I'm happy to share it, but for everyone else's sake, I'll try to keep this as short and sweet as possible. Matt is a hardworking, dedicated, and overall amazing student, and I'm lucky to have had him in class for 2 years. But that's not what this award is about. I'm giving Matt my People's Choice Award because he is somebody who has been a constant bright spot in my day for the 3 years I've known him. I'll never forget back to school night during Matt's sophomore year. Dr. Khan told me that Matt is a man of few words. That year, his friends would also tell me all the time that Matt doesn't talk. Now, I'm not saying that his mom and his friends were wrong, but that's not the Matt Khan I know. We started out just talking about baseball, and throughout our time together, Matt started coming out of his shell more and more. Oh no, I'm all out of place. More and more. Now, 3 years later, not a school day goes by that I don't chat with Matt at least once throughout the day. He keeps me up to date on what's going on in his life, what he's excited about for the future, and everything, all of his plans. When Matt and I talk, these are more than just surface level conversations. We discuss passions, insecurities, future plans, and so much more. As much as I love teaching my classes, my talks with Matt are easily some of the best parts of my day. Every conversation we have makes my day a little bit better, no matter what else I have going on in my life at the time. Even though Matt lets me know how much he appreciates me as a teacher any chance he gets, I don't think he knows how much our chats and our talks really mean to me. As a teacher, a major goal of mine is building positive relationships with my students, as well as being a safe and open space where everyone's voice is heard. Matt shows me every single day that I'm accomplishing that goal. Every time I see this man of few words walking towards me with a smile on his face, ready to tell me about his day, I'm reminded why I chose this profession and that I'm doing what I set out to do in it. And that I should be proud of myself for doing so. And Matt, I can never thank you enough for that. Matt, thank you for making these last 3 years at Lenape a little bit better for me. Thank you for unknowingly being the reminder that I'm accomplishing what I set out to do as a teacher, and that even on my worst days, I still love what I do every single day. Thank you for being the amazing young man that you are. Lenape will not be the same for me without you here next year, but I know you're going to be crushing it at Villanova.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next up, Miss Jamie Fowler.
Might as well come up, Bella. Right. My People's Choice nominee is Isabella Cow. Bella has been instrumental in leading the debate team, actually throughout all her 4 years. But even before she became our captain this year, she was a key component of our team's success over the past 3 years, even winning back-to-back South Jersey Debate League championships. And even though that we were underrated by the league every single year, and all anyone wanted to talk about in the league was Morristown or Shawnee or Eastern, and Lenape through hard work. It was pure hard work and effort and research and constant improvement led by Bella's work ethic here that really led us to any kind of success. So I can't thank her enough for her hard work, dedication, and commitment over the last 4 years. She has continued to inspire our JV team and younger members, and I know that they see her example and her work ethic, and that's why they've had any kind of success that they've had. And while championships and success are nice to have, they're not the reason that I have so much enjoyed my time the past few years of debate. Why I have been so proud of this team is for who they are as students, as teammates, and as people. Bella epitomizes what I wish I always saw in a member of my team, my club, or just students I see here at Lenape in classes. She cares for others, strives to always do her best, holds herself to high standards, and works hard day in and day out. Most of all, she is passionate about everything she does, whether it be debate, tennis, track, or her classes. I am sure that Bella will be successful in college at Rutgers and in life. Bella, always believe in yourself You can achieve anything you set your mind to. We will miss you at Lenape. Good luck, and thank you. And next up is Mr. Mike Curcio.
All right, Claire, come on up. Come on up, Claire. You're the last one. You're the last one. Okay, my people's choice is Claire Dickinson. Claire is a very responsible and conscientious student who gets along well with her classmates and is very respectful towards her teachers. I first met Claire 3 years ago, and I was impressed by her respect for others and willingness to help out in class. She was always the first person to volunteer to pass out papers or collect phys ed equipment. Claire's always the first person to greet me in the classroom to say hello. How are you doing, Ms. Curcio? Then leave saying thank you, have a good day. She's very kind-hearted and is always looking out to help others be happy. She demonstrates great character traits as she participates every Monday after school with the Social Rec Club by participating and leading many activities. She's involved in a team member of the Unified Basketball Team, a member of NHS, Hero Club, Driver's Ed Club, and involved in PALS as a student leader and adapted phys ed program. Claire has a very bright future. I'm confident that anyone she becomes associated with will benefit with the relationship. I wish her much happiness and success. Claire Dickinson. I'd like to introduce Mr. Catania.
Good evening. So I'm Tony Catania, proud prince of Lenape High School. It is my daunting task to try to bring this night to a close. While I know you're looking at your watches and thinking about we've been here for 2 hours, and I want you to note this, is that this is probably more than double the length. This event is double the length of our graduation, our academic awards, our senior pinning, and it's on purpose. Because in my eyes, and our Renaissance team of Miss Allen and Miss Perry back there who organized this entire event, to me, it is one of the most impactful and meaningful events that we do all year, to be very truthful with you. While the graduation is a culminating event for all, it's absolutely, this is my favorite night. That's why we roll the red carpet out for nights like this, okay, when you walk in the door, because this is a special event because of each and every one of you. I do have a couple questions before I go through my thanks and close the night out. I have a question of, that's why I asked the lights to be up by Mr. Franchi for a moment, is that how many people, raise your hands, knew what People's Choice was before you came here tonight? About half. Okay, how many of you were reluctant to come? Masters were on, it was raining, you're like a night out, how long is this thing gonna be? Who should come? I see little kids running around, they're like, should I bring them my little son, my daughter, what have you? Maybe a little reluctant, right? How many of you knew your child was this good? All right, how many of you are like, who are they talking about up there? Because I don't know that person at all, right? How many of you believe it? All right, good. All right, how many of you knew that someone at Lenape cared this deeply about your child? And how many of you knew who that person was before you walked in here, that they talked about it at dinner, in the car, when you were shopping or doing something on an event, that they talked about these staff members that dedicated their times and lives to your children? How many of you knew who they were? Raise your hands if you knew, right? But now you know. My last question is this. Well, two questions. How many of you beamed with pride when they talked about your child? How many of you cried? So my tally for me, and they're not my kids, but they're my Lenape kids, I had 7. I had 7 times that I teared up and welled up thinking about my children, or the children that represent Lenape High School on all different platforms throughout our community, whether on the athletic fields, our classroom, our hallways, or up at the pizza shop up in Mount Laurel, all these places around, because it's so impactful. And that's the reason we take the time. We tell the teachers, tell it how it is. Tell your story of the impact that these students are having on our lives here at Lenape High School, because you are sincerely making Lenape better every single day, whether you know it or not. And that's the part that I truly cherish each and every one of you for. My thanks continue to my amazing staff at Lenape High School, right? We have staff here that are first-year staff to veteran staff throughout this entire night. We've had paras, media specialists, administrators, teachers. We've had a trainer present here tonight, and they're absolutely dedicated. We talk about care and try. That's one of the things you'll see and hear from me a lot of times, right? And they absolutely care about your kids. They care about how they're doing academically. They care about how they're maturing responsibly as young adults and how the impact that they're making. And you can see how emotional. They talked about, they've referenced their own children. If they had kids, this is who they would be, right? These are the people that are taking care of your kids 6 and 8 hours a day, interacting with them until 4 and 5 o'clock at night on athletic fields, or taking care of them when they're injured, right? And walking through these buildings, sometimes lonely, right? And these are the people that they seek out because they're making connections because it means something to them. You heard so many things about our staff. You learned so much more tonight. Small amount of you raised your hand when I said, did you know which this staff member was? Did you ever hear this staff member's name before? Some of you raised your hand, some of you didn't. But now you know what this is at Lenape. We talk about that Lenape family all the time, and it's thrown around at a lot of schools and a lot of organizations. I just wish more people in our society did nights like this, or more often told people how they felt, told people the impact they were having. The coolest thing about our teachers is this, is the best teachers, every kid in their class think that they're their people's choice, right? Every kid, that's our best teachers. When they said I had a lie to about 25 kids, that's a good lie. Right? Because 24 other kids thought, I'm your favorite. Right? Some of our teachers walked up like, I can't wait to tell my favorite student. We're not supposed to have favorites. But this is the impact your kids are making. So that's one of the coolest things, and I truly appreciate it. I know it's 9 o'clock, and we're going to get out of here, but I thank our staff because, kids, these teachers, like, they have their lives. They don't live in the closets in our classrooms, right? We don't put them right back in, charge them up tonight, and bring them back out, right? They have their lives, their own children. They're doing things in their lives, but they dedicated their time to make sure that you knew how they felt about you, all right? And I bet it's reciprocated in so many different levels. I also want to thank the parents as well. Let's give a round of applause for our teachers, first of all. One of the things I want to thank all of our family members, right? Parents, guardians, grandparents, what have you, aunts, uncles, right? Because I know character is like good soup. It's made at home, right? And we're beneficial to benefit from all of what you bring to us. And we know that you have a choice of where to send your kids, right, to high school, and where you want to educate them and what you want to do with them, right? And you give that gift to us, and we truly appreciate it, and we reciprocate it on nights like this. But this is a special night, so I thank each and every one of you for all your participation through our lives of your children. It was pretty interesting to hear about how many teachers mentioned I had their siblings this one. It was a great family. The whole team, right, does this, cleans their book bag or helps them get through. It is a team effort, so I thank each and every one person here tonight. And the last group I want to thank is this. I want to thank the 52 students up on this stage. You're talking about 52 students of 1,900. It's about 3% of our building is represented here tonight. They are not identified as our captains of our athletic teams. They're not the lead in the play per se. They're not the highest academic achieving. While they all have their achievements in a variety of different places, they're good people. Right? Now, I don't write my speeches anymore, right? I've been doing this a long time, but I let my staff write my speech for me. That's what I write notes up. So I just want to share this with you. I want to just recap pretty quickly, okay? Here are some of the things that were shared throughout the night about your children, our students, and each and every one of you, all right? Think about this. Selfless, genuine, welcomes other students, friendly, puts the good in others, vulnerable, comforting, empathetic, a bundle of school spirit, kind, shares their hopes with others, caring, provides handwritten notes to teachers, does the right thing, invites the bus driver to Thanksgiving. The force is strong. Positive, witty, thoughtful, says hello from across the parking lot at ShopRite. A mentor, impactful, bubbliest person I know. My why. Leader, confident, generous, smiles. Minds their own beeswax, as somebody's mother once said. Poised, bold, creative, smart, hardworking, works well with others, graceful, turns a negative into a positive. Honest, compassionate, respectful, sees the values in others. Takes initiative, was the donkey. Motivating, bounce in their step, happy, advocates for themselves, makes a difference, responsible, warm-hearted, laughs, and is an old soul. Those were some of the descriptors that I heard tonight about your children from our staff, about each and every one of you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm the proudest principal you can find, and I thank you for every day making Lenape better. I promise that you do. Thank you so much. We love you. Lenape Pride.